was shocked when he
appreciate
saw my
everybody's
comment.
perspective. I don't take sides. Like,
Yeah, because
people have their own ideas.
I
What
have
I
a
will tell you,
memory of the
yeah,
device being used in a different way, you see.
yeah,
Okay.
that's
Uh,
possible.
yeah, yeah.
But I'll
Okay,
tell you,
just
I've helped a lot of people with this device.
yeah, I'm
So
fascinated by it. I'm
it's
fascinated. I'm going to
powerful,
do the
for sure,
recording as
powerful.
well.
Yeah. Well, they
Yeah.
could have given him um the. Okay, I'll wait to.
So welcome everybody. I have a fantastic guest with me today, and it's been ages that we've been trying to book this. It's really great. I'm joined by Aida Farhat, which I think I'm saying wrong. Aida
No, you said it
AI.
right. You
Okay,
said it
great.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holistic therapist, aspiring author, podcast host, public speaker, and survivor who shares her perspective on trauma, resilience, and reclaiming personal sovereignty. Aida is the host of Cosmic Rue, where she explores topics including awakening, spirituality, humanitarian projects, military abductions, super soldier experiences, and extraterrestrial encounters. Ida speaks openly about her lived experiences and the psychological and spiritual impact they have had, with a focus on healing, empowerment, and supporting others in reconnecting with their inner strength and awareness. Also, the co-producer of the Full Disclosure Now conference last year as well, and the year before, I think, helping to create space for dialogue around consciousness, disclosure, alternative perspectives, and experiencer accounts. So, welcome. Really lovely
Thank you
to
for
connect with
having me.
you.
Yes, this has been a long time coming. It was lovely to meet you in the UK in December. We got to
Yeah.
meet, hang out, and talk a bit. I know you were with Drago, sharing your experiences. You guys have a connection in the Super Soldier
Yeah.
program. So,
Yeah. We didn't, you and I
and
didn't get to spend
Drago's an
enough time
amazing guy.
together.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
We didn't get to spend enough time together, did we really? We didn't,
Yeah.
our schedules, because I was trying to set up interviews for the Typical Skeptic podcast as well. And I was monitoring the live stream for the conference and stuff like that. So, yeah, so I was kind of working and observing. But I did catch some of your talk, which was the first talk of the conference, which was amazing. Yeah, I think people were not prepared for your talk. You just blew people out the water. It was fantastic. It
Well,
was.
I appreciate that because it was my first time presenting and I was a bit nervous and a little bit of hyperventilating, but I think I got my message across the best I
Yeah.
could. Um, yeah, so we could talk a little bit about that. I also noticed your post on Facebook where you mentioned about your sleep being interrupted and
Yeah.
okay, I need
I,
you to
I
get.
I do get into the targeting topic quite a lot, and I've done videos with Miles on it as well. So I'm also a targeted individual. Well, I try to say empowered individual now, but I'm in the TIRAP program, which is like the oldest targeting program. So there's quite a few people in it, which means that we've been lifelong from like before birth, kind of targeted. So you get used to it. That's your entire life. You don't realize it's a targeting program until quite recently in the last 2 years. So yeah, so I do talk about that a lot, but the sleep trap, that's quite fascinating. So have you had experience of the sleep trap?
I have actually just a couple weeks ago. I was sleeping and my body was asleep, but I was awake, conscious and aware. And I said I could see the universe and the stars. It was beautiful. And I said, "Here we go." And when I said, "Here we go," a sound frequency fence was put around me and I could hear the frequencies. And I said, whoever's doing this, I don't consent. And they blank slated me.
Wow.
And then I rested for the rest of the night. They probably took me, I don't know. And I woke up having full memory of this experience. Although, yeah. So it's one or the other. Either they're, well, I think it's both, but depending on the circumstances,
Mm.
if they're wanting to take your soul to use you for a multi-dimensional battle or simply to keep you locked into your body where you're not able to travel the stars, which is our God, or I don't even like to use the word God, our divine right to be able to leave our body, get the rest we need, our body get the rest it needs, and to be able to return and bring information back from our soul family, our star family, the universe, whatever it is. And it's unfortunate. that this is happening. And a lot of people have complained about their sleep being interrupted. And so when I saw your post yesterday, I was like, absolutely, because I just had an experience where I was being
Yeah.
blocked.
Yeah,
And
I've been wanting to write that for about a week as well. And I knew it was a thing because Newskin, the Canadian super soldier, we've been talking about that for 6 months because it really affects him. But it was after the show I did with him that I'd kind of must have either his handlers started to target me because I get punished after I do shows. Yay, something to look forward to. Depending on what topics we talk about, I'm prepared for that kind of thing now. But it's like I must have been tangled, right? And it was overwhelming, as if I'd been drugged. It was like that. It was so intense. I lost a full day. Yeah, and that's only happened to me once before in my early 20s when I know I was overworking. So yeah, do you get any other forms of targeting coming in?
well, not necessarily so much anymore. I mean, I will tell you when I first had my Kundalini activation, and I noticed watching my presentation, of course, I watched it because I wanted to see where,
Yeah.
what topics that I was talking about that may have been, certain areas of my story, what
Hmm.
was more causing me more anxiety than others. Maybe there's something I need to look at deeper. But the majority of my targeting actually has stopped. I, for the most part. Now I still have moments like when I moved to Florida, I was
Hmm.
here for probably 6, 7 months. I hadn't purchased a car yet. I was working waitressing to earn money and save money so that I could buy a vehicle. And a very tall, probably 6'3", 6'4", maybe a guy about 5'10", and then a real short woman who was on a computer sat in my section of the restaurant. And just a few days prior to that, I had taken uh, EMT, and to have an experience trying to get to deeper roots, finding out, whatever I could connect in to maybe pull in information for myself or remember.
Hmm.
Anyways, long story short, I remember the guy was so tall, his legs had to come out of the bottom of the table into the aisle because, the where the tables were because he was so tall. But long story short, so I greeted them, asked them for their drink order, and had some short talk with them. Went to get their drinks, came back, and I was like, "You guys are in the military." And of course, this was the story that the friend was retiring, and they were there to celebrate. And
Hmm.
then after I realized that I was told by the guy that was sent from the Pentagon for me during my major targeting, he also was retiring from the military. So this is a storyline that they use. But anyways, so I asked him, "Have you ever seen any extraterrestrials, spacecraft, whatever?" He was like, "No, no, we haven't. But have you ever tried DMT?" Like out of nowhere.
Oh
And I'm
yeah.
like, I looked at him. I was like, "That's an
Hmm.
interesting question to ask me." Yes, as a matter of fact, I have a few days ago,
Yeah.
right? So basically, they were letting me know that they're still watching me and so forth. But I don't, I don't really care anymore,
Yeah.
Julia. I'm fed up with all of it, and all I care about is that people really take the time to do the deep dive within.
Hmm.
I think too many of us, including myself, when I first woke up, I was constantly reaching out to people for help and readings, and I had so much information come to me all at once that my nervous system was jarred.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that energy weapons were being used on me, I had taken a flu shot that really disrupted my neurological system after saying no 1,000 times. So mind control is definitely a real thing. But I don't notice so much anymore. I guess
Yeah.
the longer answer, I give you a
Yeah.
long answer to that, but
That's
there
okay.
are times
We have a different
like
perspective,
like
I
at
think.
the
Yeah.
conference that Brian and I had our first year, a guy that's part of this community called my phone. Supposedly it was him. Called my phone and said, "Ida, can you hear me?" And then click. But the
Ah.
sound, there was something I felt like he was trying to trigger me. And I was like, "Who in the heck is this?" Oh yeah, he said, "Ida, this is Nicholas. Can you hear me?" And then hung up. and never called back, never
Yeah.
came up to me during the conference to say anything to me, nothing. So I believe they were trying to trigger me and get me to go into an altar. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
caught it and was very self-aware and paying attention to my thoughts and how
Yeah.
I was feeling.
So it's like when we did the Basis conference and Drago did his talk, a few talks after you, and he literally called out the handlers in the room
Yep.
and called out the remote viewing, like assets that we have. And so I think that people are not prepared for that, but because we've been attending these conferences now and people are actively getting targeted and coughing up blood and all this kind of stuff at
Sure.
conferences, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just insane out there. So it's like I know some people who are super soldiers who won't attend conferences because they just know it's so dangerous and they don't want anybody to go. So, but I think it's important that we go. Like I'm still going to go to bases in June. Sean Bond is coming
Nice.
over, so I'm hoping Drago's going to come over, but I probably won't know until I get there. I don't know, or until I get the order to do the poster or something. So
I
I
will
won't.
tell you, Julia, that was a hard travel for me.
Was it?
It really was. I mean, a long flight,
Yeah.
and then those roads in the UK. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it. When Miles took me to the airport, I was screaming at him, "You're scaring me, Miles! Like this. This is. Are you doing it on purpose? Like I did. Do you want to get to the airport?" And I'm like, Miles,
He's got a
yes, I
sports
want to
car
get to the
though.
airport
He
safely.
has a sports
Literally,
car.
we were going. Of course, the airport's 2 hours from his house, but
Yeah.
the roads were like this, and
Yeah.
the cars were like an inch from each other, just flying by each other. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Just, I felt like I was in Back to the Future in the UK.
Well, you
Like
know what happened
everything
to
was,
me? I had to take 6 trains to get home because I travelled down with Venus and she was going to the Cornwall, like you guys went. So I had to take 6 trains back. So I did
yes,
get home,
Venus
but
is
it took
quite
me
a
eight
quite interesting
hours.
young lady. I got to spend
Yeah, I'd
some
never
time with
really
her.
met
And,
her before
yeah,
the conference. So she'd exhibited at a pagan event that I'd organised, but I'd never met her before. So, but we got on really well,
yeah,
and it was great because I had this thing of I don't know how I'm going to get there. I couldn't make the trains match. I wasn't sure about because it's in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? Come on,
yeah.
it's in the middle of nowhere. So, and then I got a phone call from her saying, "Oh, Miles has asked me to phone you," and she literally lives near me, right? So I just thought, okay, this is a bit weird. Somebody who's got the same interests, who lives near me, who's driving to the conference. Okay, so I said to her, if you drive, then you can share my hotel room. So that worked out. Yeah, so I got there, but there's probably a bit of targeting and handling involved in that scenario.
Sure.
I'm under no illusion that my life is handled, so it's fine. I got there, that's all that mattered. I got to meet Drago, which I'd manifested, by the way.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
manifested that because the chance of me meeting him was like zero. It really was. I never
yeah.
thought he'd get an offer to come and talk in the UK and that he'd take it, and I didn't even know until I heard from bases that he was coming. So there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah, he's like that. And but
And
yeah,
Drago, he
yeah,
spoke twice at our conference, at the Full Disclosure Now conference.
yeah,
Drago is quite an intelligent man, and um, well, I appreciate his way of communicating
yeah,
information. I don't always agree, right? I don't always agree, but it doesn't make him wrong. It's just I don't
yeah,
necessarily resonate with all of it. But that's okay. I mean, it's his experiences, so I honor that. And
yeah.
I so Drago and I have always had a very direct, friendly friendship, and I appreciate him. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, when he did that talk at Full Disclosure Now 2025, I had a live stream pass, and I passed out a couple of times in the talk.
yeah.
So a couple of things he said, and when he was talking about his Japanese altar that's referenced in John Whitberg's books, it activated my memory of that version of him. And I knew that I didn't say his name was Yoshiro. I knew to me he was my Yoshi because he was my brother still. So yeah, so the soul just carries around, and it's still him. We're still connected.
Well,
We're
I think
still
that's fantastic that you
siblings.
guys
Yeah,
have been able to put pieces together and
yeah.
realize that yeah,
But I did not know until the conference that he had a lifetime of memories of me, that that's what he'd been working on for the full year after we met this time last year, and then we met in December in person. And then the things he said on stage, I didn't know those things. I didn't
Mm,
know that he had a lifetime of memories there. I didn't know that my code name was actually Anchorhaven. I didn't know certain things, and I'm on stage like, what? I was just
that's
like,
fair.
I had a massive reaction to his talk though. Did you get to sit through his talk?
I did, and I listened to part of it. I've listened to Drago for quite some time, and I know that he tries to keep up to date and share different information. And he's got a lot of
Mm,
information to
a
share,
lot, yeah.
but I just don't. Um, I have no interest, honestly, in
Yeah.
listening to other people's presentations anymore,
Yeah.
so to speak, because I've got the gist of what's
Yeah.
going on
I
to the best of
understand.
my ability and my own self awareness. So I've listened to, it's kind of like you listen to the same person enough times, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I need to either expand out a bit and maybe
Yeah.
hear new, or really just focus on my own stuff.
This is
And
one of the reasons why I stopped going to like the support groups that are out there, because you're just
yeah,
listening to other people's trauma,
yeah,
and
no,
I've
I'm
got
not
my
so
own
so so.
trauma, right?
I
So
think I appreciate you just saying that, because
yeah.
that's a big issue that I've had with the community, that people are on stage sharing information and not really giving a solution, number one,
Yeah.
uh, or recommending that they, sit with themselves for a while and kind of not like, find somebody, and I believe I mentioned it during my presentation, find somebody you trust that you can talk with, that you don't feel, um, that has your best interests,
Yeah.
and
I agree.
and and be able to build a rapport so that you can get to the core of a lot. Like, I love Dr. Amir, I
Yeah.
love him, and I'm very selective in who I
Yeah.
share real personal information with at
So
this
for me, it's Sean Bond. He's my safe space. So
point.
when
Sean
I
Bond's
do when I
amazing.
do
I
Vision
will
Quests with
forever
him,
love him.
we do it
Yes,
live on his channel.
yes,
And I'm able to do that because I feel safe with him. I know
yeah,
that whatever comes up, he can handle it. Whatever attack comes through, he can neutralize it. So, I've said before in the last video Sean and I did, it might have been one before last, we were doing this really deep vision quest, and I got into my India secret space program memories as well. So I'm in multi factions and stuff. But during it, as we were we spent like an hour just preparing the mind, going really deep and relaxed in vision quest, conscious meditation. And then I felt this stab in my stomach. I felt a knife insert into my solar plexus. And you hear me say on camera, Sean, I'm being attacked, I've just been stabbed. And he's just like, I know, I'm helping you, it's okay. So it was just like the coolest dude ever. Like, he's just like,
oh,
yeah,
he's
I'm aware,
amazing.
I'm exactly
I've
aware
known
what's going on,
Sean
I'm in
is,
control.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've known Sean probably since 2013, 14 maybe, and I had one reading with him, and then we got to know each other a bit more with him and his beloved Yisa coming to the conference,
Mm,
both years. I just, he stayed with me at the Airbnb, which afforded me to spend even more time with him. I mean, I really
yeah.
appreciate him. There's an innocence about him and he's such a loving guy.
Yeah.
He's just a good guy. So yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I don't, this is only my perspective, I don't think everything's an attack,
Yeah.
right? I think that there are some of our experiences that we may perceive as an attack are
Mm,
actually our soul self trying to reveal something to us, which feels outside of us,
yeah.
but it's could be different aspects, parts of ourselves, our memory, that I just, I, and I'm not, this isn't directed towards you. I'm saying on a whole, because I've been paying attention for a long time,
Mm,
since 2011, and there were people way before me. Of course there were, right? But it just seems like a lot of people in the community, there are still so many that claim that they're in the program that are not. I don't believe that. They may have gone through some trauma-based mind control for
yeah.
sure, my lab experiences, um, but I don't think everybody's a super soldier. And
Yeah.
I don't even like using that word,
Mm,
because I don't think there's any anything super about it.
No,
I think
I
it,
agree
yeah,
totally. It's all
and,
trauma based.
it,
Yeah,
yes, and so many people have not, they spiritual bypass and they haven't done the inner work.
yeah,
They haven't taken responsibility at all for themselves. They blame everything and everybody else. And the reason I can recognize that so well, because I was one of them when I was first waking up and so angry and just, I had rage in me. I
mm,
was so angry at the things that I was becoming aware of,
yeah,
and never did at that, when you're in that level of emotional
mm,
charge, you're not considering what part do I play in this?
yeah,
What did I agree to? How have I acquiesced? How have I given my power away? All of those things. So I literally, the universe, I went through a severe dark night of the soul and had to sit with myself for years. It
yeah,
was several years before I came back around into the community. There are very few people I was listening to because I don't believe everybody. I mean, I can intuit. When I hear stories, some stories, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And then for people to really claim to have the kind of recall, it's like, there's no way.
I mean, I've got fragments, and like a few of my friends are saying, you've got enough to start writing a book. You should write something, write short stories. And I'm sitting there thinking, it's just a fragment. Like, how do I try and share that
Well, you
flash
can write a
of
book. Of
image?
course you
It's
can.
like it's so
Yeah.
tricky. But for me, the
And
the the
that's part of the
rage,
reason why I was targeted. I started
yeah,
writing a book called Little
uh,
Sisters of Soul,
yeah. When
and
did
the
you start
targeting
writing
got
the book?
bad.
When was that? When did you start it?
2011, 2012, I had my full blown Kundalini activation in 2011.
Yeah.
2012, I wrote the introduction of my book, and I have over 200 book pages and a cover. And I was severely targeted. They broke in my home, stole my computer, cut hair out of my. I mean, I could tell the story if you want. I don't know,
Wow.
but if you want to ask
Yeah, you
questions.
can go in any direction. I don't
Well,
mind. Yeah.
well, I mean, well, I mean, I've said this quite some time. I mean, so there was an Illuminati black magic ritual done on my life, offering me up to Moloch, and it's because of my DNA and the soul I behold and so forth, which I don't need to get into here.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not. It's only important to me in that, what is it in this lifetime I need to correct within myself
Yeah.
so that I don't repeat another lifetime of this nonsense. And I think a lot of it, this repeating, has nothing to do with us, and that we continue, that we end up in this this trap of incarnation,
Mm.
incarnation trap, where we continue to come back, live in the same lifetime, same lessons, different maybe circumstances. People may be different, some aren't, some are the same people placed in your life, and it's just like, all right, already, I'm done with doing this.
Yeah.
I don't want any. And I also know that there were things in my past life, I was involved in some very auspicious things. I'll just say that I don't do in this lifetime.
Mm.
I don't want to, have no interest in it. And I
Yeah.
know, had I acquiesced to some of the players, I'll say, that were coming into my life or that I was attracted to when I first woke up, had I gone down that path, um, I would be in a very different place in my life.
So
But I
I
wrote, which
yeah. I was
that's
writing a passage in, the starting the book today, and it was from an altar that's in Nutwaffen, and her name is Ella, and I'm writing this passage. My stomach is churning, right? It's dark. It's raw. It's not nice stuff. She's got an awful personality. She's evil in a way. She's like a genetic genius, like a mad scientist. And me trying to
mhm.
connect into that and write it down, it made me feel sick. Right? So, I mean, like you, me, Christy, and Jane Hatch, and probably others, we're coming at this from a holistic therapist point of view as well, looking to heal this trauma, find like safe systems of work in a way, and how to break this down into a process. But I was told that I had cosmic rage from Orion Wars. That's how the rage started for me. That it wasn't really mine, but I'd agreed to process it for the universe. Does that make sense to you?
Well, sure. I
Yeah.
think we all do that at some level. I mean, if you've been using the, so this is the thing that, we think that we own our bodies. If you've been using these projects and programs, they own the body because they created the body. They didn't create us. They didn't create humanity. Humanity was already here. The Lyran and Draco Wars. Somebody had went to different planetary systems. I, for one, went to Pleiades. I started in Lyra. Now there are souls that aren't that old that haven't, they started saying Arcturus or Pleiades or Orion, different star systems. But I guess my point in saying that is when you've been battling your entire soul's existence, that can cause rage. Think about it. It's it's wearing on the soul. And then to have memory of some of the things maybe that we've done to others or others that have done to us, and you go through your whole life. For me, I felt like my whole life was a big fat lie. Like, who was that person, that life I was living? Because I am far removed from who I was
Yeah.
before my awakening. The lifestyle I was living, the drugs, the sex, the different partners, the abuse that I put up with from men, narcissistic, sick MFers. And then I wanted to blame them. Then I realized it was required for me to go through. I went through what I went through because I was externalizing love. I was looking for it
Mm.
outside of myself. I wasn't taking the time to understand my own traumas and why I was behaving the way I was behaving. Of course, I had a full blown Kundalini activation, so therefore my sex, I was super sexually charged, looking for a partner, getting my energy drained, getting going through a love bite scenario, having a guy in the Air Force 20 years from the Pentagon in my life for them to deactivate my super soldier abilities, which they did, but they cannot take my spiritual gifts from me. So Dr. Amir said to me, he was like, Ida, you would be considered genius, and your gifts could cause a lot of harm, could
Yeah.
blow up cities. And I'm thinking, okay, that sounds very
Yeah.
fantastical, right? But if you think about it, if you have which I have AI that runs through my body, you have that kind of technology in your body and you're
Mm.
trained and you have no real memory, maybe some bleed throughs of, you're
Yeah.
not going to fully understand what you're capable of.
No.
And they're not going to let you walk around like that either. And I'm a firm believer that if you've been using the projects and programs, you are absolutely augmented with AI.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to multidimensionally battle in the way that these.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Because my emotions have been shut down, and Draco calls it emotional suppression code. And when he said that at the conference, I had this big aha moment because I've been
Mm,
like redirected on this search to find emotions, and it was such a distraction. And then when I realized actually it's acceptable for me to not have massive emotions, to be calm and not react in certain ways. So, but my emotions are controlled so that my powers can't be utilized, basically. Because I have a similar, phosphoromancy, explosive light plasma power as well to you. So, yeah, so it's very, very weird. Can't think where I was going now. But
that's
yeah, so,
okay.
yeah. So, yeah, so there's so much going on. And, just see if there's any questions in the chat. Not yet, which is good. Okay, so yeah, let's have a look at the Deems device. Tell us about your connection to the Deems device. Yeah.
Okay, so Chris O'Connor,
Mm.
who is the creator of this, so some people have the silver one. This is the gold one. It's dipped in 24 karat gold. It has 8 carats of diamond chips inside, used as conductor for the magnet for 0 point energy. So the gold side blasts the body with 0 point energy or 0 point energy, source energy. The
Yeah.
silver side pulls out. I
Yeah.
can feel it on my head. I put it here for.
And you put crystal pyramids in the center. Is that
Well, you
right?
can. I haven't bought those and I need to, and I've said
Okay.
that you can. You don't have
Yeah.
to use crystals. You can. This is the thing. for me, right? I like to see the body as the different octaves in the body rather than chakras.
Yeah.
Like I used to be somebody that spoke of chakras a lot, and they are a real thing. They're an energy center in different parts of the body for, but I
Yeah.
do believe that they're implanted. Same thing with the pineal gland,
Mm.
right? They've reconstructed the human into the Homo sapien that we are
Yeah.
today. I don't, and from my understanding, and I could be, don't quote me on this, but I believe it was the Atlantean and Lemurian wars. This is when the chakra system and so forth was put in place for the human, and I
Okay.
definitely believe it's part of they control us through it.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, so um, but the crystals are good for using for different parts of the body. But this, even by itself, is powerful. I
Yeah.
mean, I think the crystals are just an added you could use for different chakras and so forth. But I love this device.
Mm.
I mean, I've used it on people. I've done clearings on them. I've gotten their energy centers moving again, their chakras spinning properly. They tell me they see, angels or guides around them, swirling colors, like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah. I would love to
I,
get one.
yeah, they're,
I have a memory of a device that's similar to this, which is possibly what it's based on, and it's
hmm
from the programs. And it was David Purcell who started to talk about this first, and it looked like an Ankh, but it was still like the Dean device. But he would have it on his belt, and then when he was talking about it, I saw myself kind of reaching for it and holding it out, and it was a mind control device.
huh?
And you could literally suck a person's essence out of their body with it. I know, right? So this is the memory.
I don't,
And
yeah,
so I'd held it as if I'm going to get you kind of memory, because he was part of, a not so good system. And then he kind of looked at me as if to say, nice try. That's in the memory. And so when Chris was on James Rink's show and I was in the chat, I put the question in, you're like, do you remember something like that? And he kind of said, maybe yes, but that's not what my device does. Very clearly, my
yeah,
device is for healing, yeah, for
yeah,
rebalancing the body, yeah. So but it's quite interesting that that memory came forward, that it was multifaceted in a way, multifunctional, different
yeah,
versions of it, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
That's exactly. So I'm thinking, even if it's something like, say, let's say an offshoot from the device that you're referring to,
Mm.
that it's being used for the betterment rather
Yeah.
than to cause harm. And I, Chris O'Connor is one of the sweetest souls I've ever met. He's such a good guy.
Mm.
And I can't speak enough about him. I just love him. We've only met a few times in person. We've talked on the phone. We text. He sent me just maybe a week or two, sent me, he had published his first book, and I shared it out. I just think he's a great, I mean, he's got a lot of detail about his own experiences, and he
Right.
considers himself a copy.
Yeah.
See, they tried to take my soul out of my body, and I believe they wanted to use this body for something else. So
Mm.
I misspoke at the conference where I said that I had to fight for my soul. Well, I had to fight for my soul and my body.
Right.
So, and I definitely was taken, like when James Casbolt talked about Christed ancient, Christed beings from ancient, having had a full blown Kundalini activation and knowing the soul I behold in
Yeah.
my DNA, I knew that that was a true statement. And
Mm.
my soul was lining things up for me to understand so that I would stop reaching out to other people and start putting pieces together myself for my own recall, if you will, which I don't believe they're downloads. I believe they're memory,
Yeah.
right? Our DNA holds memory.
Yeah, I
Somebody
agree.
asking a question, you're typing.
I'm just
Is
typing
somebody?
in the chat if anyone's got questions for you to pop them in the
Oh,
chat.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. No, no,
I
it's
know.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Um.
What was it like to meet James Casbolt in person? Because he's a very controversial figure. And you
hmm
spent some quiet time with him, didn't you? What was that like?
Yeah, I got to interview him actually for a short interview with him, and I don't know. I think James has gone through a lot of trauma in his life, and I think
Hmm.
that people don't really get that.
Yeah.
He was raised, it was him and Max Spears, and primarily him and Max Spears, that I resonated with more than any other person speaking out, um, during the time when I was going through my awakening.
Do you
And I
remember
so
Aaron
much of what they
McCullum?
shared was true. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Do you remember Aaron McCullum?
I do. Hmm.
Because I mean he's underground now, but
Well,
I
yeah,
really
he only came forward for a short period of time. There wasn't,
well when
it
I
was like he came
listened,
out and then he disappeared.
I had a massive reaction to his voice and his face in the last few months. And it was so bad, the reaction, that my body started to vibrate trauma, which is how I release my like deep stuff. My body starts a vibration wave. And I went into this pit of despair, like grief. And it was so bad. I messaged Ivan Teller and I said, I need to know, has this person passed on? Am I grieving a comrade here? What is going on? And he tuned into his kind of his field and said, no, he is alive, but his targeting level is so bad. It's so elite high level that he is literally underground. It's like, it's so bad. And Ivan was like, you need to disconnect right now because it is so dangerous. So Aaron McCullum came out, said what he had to say, and then he's had to, like, I don't know, witness protection. I'm not too sure. But for him, I had a massive reaction to his voice. Yeah.
Interesting.
A
Yeah.
positive reaction. I believe maybe he was a commander on a team I was on, something like that. But I remember him being British, having a British accent, not American. Yeah, I
Mm,
look at him and I think he needs to sound London, needs a Cockney accent, right? So I know a version of him for sure.
yeah.
But yeah, so there was a connection there. And there's not that many people that I have connected to like that. Like Max Spears, I've got one memory. That's it.
Yeah.
James Casbolt, there's a resonance, but I don't want to go there. It's like that. It's like, nope, not right now. That's not
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
No,
a
James
voice.
Casbolt,
Yeah.
yeah, James and Max Spears
Mm.
helped me have a much broader and clearer understanding of the scope. And I'll tell you, as much as I think I know, I don't know nothing. And
Yeah.
I feel that way for all of us.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody thinks they have the answer,
No.
or they have their
All I've
information is it,
all I've got is
right?
questions. Right?
Yeah.
Anyone who truly knows me and spends time with me, I just overwhelm with questions. My
No,
mind
no,
is
no.
just full
I'm
of
never,
questions all the
yeah, I hope you
time.
don't think
Right?
that this isn't directed towards you. I'm
Yeah,
saying
no,
in
no.
general,
Yeah, yeah. But
people
it's
are
like,
doing their best. There are some that
yeah,
are very transparent and genuine and authentic and really are wanting to get to the core and share
yeah,
real information that could potentially help others to have their own memory recall and so forth. Then you have ones that are spewing out sensational stories and this and that, that it's like, I'm at the point, this is where I'm at. Let me just be very transparent myself. I'm at the point, it's like, we don't, we're focused on all these experiences and galactic stuff, and we're not taking care of our planet. We're
yeah.
not doing what we need to here. So many, there's so much that needs to be done on this planet that I'm just wondering, because I've been doing this a long time, when are we really going to start coming together to create our own communities in a
I agree.
powerful
Yeah.
and supportive way, rather than the nonsense that goes on?
If
Because if
we're a
you're dealing
light
with people
army,
that are
where is
not
this light
in,
army?
I'm sorry.
Where is the light army? If we're a team light, where is this
Yeah.
team light? Where are the light warriors coming together?
Well,
Who's in
I'm
charge
not a
here?
fan of the, I don't buy into team light and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Like I have, I'm friendly with somebody that has a,
Mm.
that he claims to. I love
Yeah.
him deeply.
I
I mean,
had
he's a good
an
guy.
unusual
But I
experience
guess
in the
my point
astral with
is
said
like,
person, and it was
I'm
not
sorry.
good. I had an experience in the astral with said person who, yes, they came into my awareness, and it was not a good encounter. Um,
Interesting.
yes, so I had to basically get an audit on his being. And it was like a nefarious clone or something that was being utilized, so he wouldn't have been aware. But I had an encounter in the astral,
Mm.
And yeah, it was not good. And so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I think I might have on other things. But I had this encounter with said person, and then it flitted to I was in a park and I was on the phone saying to like my friend Rob Khalil, "You will never guess what's just happened," right? And then I turn around and there is a truck of soldiers saying, "Ma'am, you need to come with us." And I was like, "No, I'm on the phone. Excuse me." So
I love
something
it.
had happened, and he
Yeah,
handed
yeah, yeah.
said person handed me a ring. And I was like, is that the time travel ring? Thank you so much. And then people are saying to me, you
I have
didn't
the
take
ring from him
something.
right here,
Oh,
wearing it.
yeah. So and the people are saying to me, you didn't
The
take something from
powerful
that
ring right
person,
here.
did you?
Yeah. No,
So
he's a
yeah,
good guy.
so some
Yeah.
people
But
might
there's
not be what
different,
they
I mean,
seem.
we're multidimensional. So just
Yeah,
think about that. So rather than be out there, pull in, integrate, and
yeah,
take the time for your own healing. So
yeah,
that when you do come forward, you have something that can really bring value to people's lives. Because
yeah,
dumping a bunch of trauma stories on people is not the answer.
yeah.
And it's not. And I
What do
know
you
this,
do
yeah.
when you get a memory come in? What do you do? How do you process it?
I sit still and I take deep breaths. And sometimes those breaths are, I don't know, 6 seconds in, or I'm sorry, 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out, which helps balance the left and right hemisphere. And I sit still, and then I imagine myself a leaf swirling in the wind and allowing myself to just sit still for a minute long enough not to be in my mind, that if there's information coming through that's going to be beneficial for my soul growth, that I would be able to interpret it in a way that I can share, that's going to be either not, some of it I don't need to share. It's personal to me. It has nothing to do with, right? Some of it, and if it's something that's maybe creating some kind of anxiety or fear in me, then I note it. I put a mental note. I don't stay focused on it. And then when I can and do have time to connect with somebody I trust to be able to help me either process it or, but I'll tell you, I don't get that so much anymore. Like nothing scares me anymore. I could, I don't fear Dracos. I don't fear nothing.
I envy that
Maybe,
because I'm just a
huh?
bag of nerves. Everything scares
Yeah.
me in
No,
this
no,
version.
nothing
Everything.
scares me. I walked right into the lion's den when I had my awakening and I had to complete my mission. And I was contacted in my kitchen, and I believe they said, "You're going to go through being sacrificed and these experiences, but you have a mission to complete." And I'm alive. Now,
Yeah,
Dr. Amir said to me, "Ida, you came out like, Superwoman," or she said, he said, I think Batman or Superman. Like
yeah,
they didn't expect that you were going to be able to do what you did. And I
amazing.
did it. And I
Yeah,
have memory of it, but it wasn't fun going through. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not being boastful here. It's
mm,
like our souls are so much more powerful than we realize.
yeah,
And if you understand that you are the divine, you are an aspect of this supreme source, that you're not, that you will, nobody gets to decide when it's time for you to go. I mean, if you're really in touch with who and what you are, it, your soul knows when it's time for you to cross, or you'll be taken out or whatever.
mm,
Like what happened to Max Spears, I don't think would have happened to him had he been a little bit more conscious and aware of the people he was surrounding himself with.
yeah,
And then, of course, his challenges with drugs and alcohol. And I love Max Spears. Nobody could tell me anything about that guy
yeah,
because he went through so much trauma. So did James Casbolt and so many others, right?
mm,
And I only could relate to their information because there was something inside of me that had an understanding of that, to understand that this is like intuit, know that what they were sharing was true. You see
yeah,
what I mean? Like
yeah,
there's really, really dark, 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 evil nonsense that goes on. Our military's involved in it, the political arena, Hollywood. It's infiltrated everything.
yeah,
So rather than focus on that now, because I went through so many rabbit holes, what can I do in my community and my, because I thought I had to save the world. Like I thought I was, and my ego was so big at that time. Like I didn't realize that that's my ego being in the fear that I was, because I was being targeted so bad. I didn't know. It was like there were so many anomalies going on around me and things happening. I didn't know if I was coming or going. And I had to stay focused and be able to navigate my life at that
Mm.
time to the best of my ability. And I went back to drugs and alcohol for some time. And then finally said, I laid in my bed and I said, not another drug, not another drink, nothing. I am done. I broke programming.
Yeah.
And it took a little while for the body to catch up because my body was still wanting an escape.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I know I kind of went on a
No,
tangent a
no,
little,
it's
but
amazing. It's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
so
it's
good.
just it's really just, when we treat ourselves poorly, we tend to treat other people poorly,
Yeah.
right? And so many empathic people that have been using these projects and programs for their gifts and so forth, they bank on our the love that we hold in our hearts, right? And the
Mm.
compassion that we hold. They bank on it to use and exploit for their benefit. And then
Yeah.
this nonsense that everybody talks about, oh, before you were born, you agreed to everything and signed contracts. And I don't agree with that.
I'm
I
not
was
too
in my
sure
mother's
about that
womb and didn't
either.
want to be born
Mm.
at all. Like I remember resisting being born.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the new age nonsense.
Yeah.
I think that some things are out of our control because of the enormous technology that's being used to keep us in these frequency fences so that we don't have, like, when I had my awakening, I will tell you, when I had my kundalini activation, I went past fifth dimension. I
Mm.
was creating out of thought. All the colors of the trees was different. I mean, you talk about magic. Like that's I was really
Yeah.
able to create and manifest very quickly, and life was really beautiful. And I was writing a book, and this is the deal: my ego was so, um, because of what they do is you have this awakening and things are going really well for you, and then they throw carrots at you or situations to see if you're going to bite and go into old behaviors, create situations to create fear in you so that you give your power over,
Yeah.
and you end up acquiescing, and then you end up looping and going back into old behaviors, old all of that. When
Yeah.
I realized that that's what I was doing, not blaming the Dracos, not blaming the reptilians, not blaming, I was doing this. They could only do to me what I was allowing to be done, what I was agreeing to by not taking my power back or taking charge of my own consciousness, my own self-awareness, and the
Mm.
health and well-being of my own body.
Yeah.
When you do that, I'm a firm believer that really nothing, you know, they may still try to get at you some way or another, but when you're self-aware in that way, you command your authority and you say absolutely not.
Yeah.
Set some healthy boundaries, remove yourself, whatever it is, because we are in a dualistic reality, so we're going to be challenged with some things. The goal is not to be like what you said, in a reactive state, and be able to be grounded enough and see what's before you,
Mm.
and then make conscious choices from that.
Yeah. There's a question in the chat from James Wickus, and he says, what was your first big breakthrough where you realized this is all real? So was that one defining moment, or was it the Kundalini activation?
Well, the Kundalini activation was absolutely amazing in that all my gifts, everything I was, I could speak a thing and then things would line up. Like I was manifesting like that, like out of thought, quite literally. But it was when the targeting, that's when I realized when the targeting happened and hair got cut out of my head, the lock of hair, and the black magic ritual. I mean, so this apartment that I was in, living in when the major targeting that was taking place, they had military men and a woman and a big black ox-strong guy jumps out in camouflage, jumps out from the building next to me with a short white man and a shorter white woman taking pictures of me. So I realized it when I moved in that apartment, in that condo, and the head of the board of directors shapeshifted in front of me. I observed it. I'm like, okay. Of course, still at that time, I'm not aware that I'm being pushed into my mission, right? Because I remember saying to Simon Parks, how do I know what my mission is? What am I? He was like, how do you know you haven't already completed it? And then I thought about it, and I thought about, and then more memories coming back. And so I'm thinking that I was used as bait for these reptilians to come after me, and the satanic ritual being done on me so that I could reach a higher or an alternate or possibly Saturn and the moon on Saturn where I was taken, that I was going to go up against these beings and return back to my body fully intact.
So do
And
you
then,
remember being on other planets? Was it just for the ritual
well,
experience?
so I remember that, and I also remember walking through a corridor. It was like you get off a plane when you walk through the corridor to get into the
Yeah.
airport. It was kind of like that. So I went from one reality or one planet, maybe. I don't know. I'm not clear on this. And through this, and then it's just this whole big different planet. I don't know if it,
Wow.
I don't know where I was. There was buildings, tall buildings, and a young woman was sitting on a bench, and I walked up to her and sat next to her and said, "What do you hear?" Was being polite to her and asking her what she was doing there, and she said, "I'm going in to get inoculated." She didn't say,
Yeah.
she said
Mm.
inoculated, and I looked at her. I was like, you don't have to do that. And I sat there with her. That's the most of what I remembered. And then I left and went back through the corridor. And then I ended up taking a freaking flu shot.
Mm.
So I don't know if it was a younger aspect of me, a version of myself, multidimensional. I don't know. But I ended up doing it. And I had said no 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And then one day I was in the pharmacy going to pick up medication, and it was an African black man that was the pharmacist, but he was on vacation, and there was this short white woman with blonde hair, and for whatever
Mm.
reason I felt safe with her, or just knew that it was the day that I was going to get this vaccine
Yeah.
after saying no 1,000 times. You know what's crazy though, Julia? I remember being in an underground dump, and they were looking inside me for eggs. I think that's what they were looking for. I have no ovaries.
Right.
And a woman at the end of that gurney or whatever it was they had me laying on had a clipboard, and she was writing things. And I'm thinking she's the same woman that was in the pharmacy,
Right.
basically,
Okay.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't take much. All I have to do is fast for a few days, and it's like watching movies in my head
Oh,
of
that's see,
stuff.
I do like a quantum meditation. I'm lucky at the moment because I don't have a full-time job to go to. So for the last year, I've been like memory mining 2 to 3 hours a day. I start off listening to the Soul Matrix, and which is like a podcast, and very calm. And then my body just kind of, I'm really aware of what's going on around me, but then I get like holographic projection, like little screens open sometimes. But I can feel when it's a memory coming right from the back of my head, and it's starting to
Interesting.
dig in. And I can query, a lot of the time I can query, but sometimes it's so fast. But when I was listening to Peter the Insider before I had my ACIO, he said Master of Observers, and it activated something within me, that phrase, and I
Mm,
got massive kind of influx coming in, but it was coming from the back of my mind.
mm,
And it was like the heads up display activated, so it was really bizarre. And I saw a lot, like so much that I'm still processing a year later what I saw. But yeah, so sometimes there'll be nothing, but for me, consistent everyday meditation, I can get memories back now. And I can get to that point where I can question and query and try, let me see, can I see me in John Whitberg? Can I see me in Drago? Can I see me in Arkin Ra? And sometimes I do get what I'm asking for. I do see that person, but it'll be so random, so bizarre that you're thinking, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why am I in a locker room with Arkin Ra shouting in my face? But that doesn't make any sense. So it's like I get the most random, weird stuff that, like, what am I doing with it? Nothing.
Mm.
So, yeah, so I'm querying. I don't know. It's a weird process. I'm trying to document the process of,
Well, I have more. So I do remember being on a skyscraper and surrounded by these high cliffs, like mountains, like you're talking 60, 70, maybe 100 feet jump we're taking. And I don't remember any particular person in the projects and programs that I worked with. I think I was a complete separate, like, I don't know. I don't have recall of being with any other than I have past life memory of this particular being that I know
yeah. Well,
who he
see,
is.
that's interesting because I
He's a
didn't think
Draco
that
reptilian.
anybody would remember me. And there's not that many people that do remember me because a lot of the time I was a scientist and I was kind of alone and isolated and
Hmm.
guarded. But there's like 5 people that do remember me and it's really bizarre now. So it's like, oh, okay. And
Well,
yeah,
I
and the
had one
Drago thing is
person a
just,
long time ago that's not on, you won't see him anymore. His name
yeah.
was Og Tellis. And you could probably still find him on YouTube, but he's not on Facebook. We used to be friends, but he made a comment one day, and I think that he was letting me know he remembered me.
Yeah.
And he didn't particularly like me, evidently, you
Yeah.
know, maybe because I
In
was
my
used as a
experience,
double
that's a true
agent.
soul connection.
I'm
Would
sorry.
you? It's That's a true soul connection in my experience when that person just is so uncomfortable that there's something there that you can't explain. Right? For me, that's a true experience.
Well, my
Yeah.
feelings were hurt. I was
Yeah.
happy by I can't remember the comment he made, but basically letting me know he remembered me, and he wasn't rude, but he was very direct. Like,
Yeah.
and I was like, is this? I remember saying to is this comment for me, right?
Right.
And and I think I don't know if he different or he just got off Facebook or what. I don't
Yeah.
remember. But I do know that I was used as a, so Peter the Insider told me
Mm.
I was used as a double agent, that
Yeah.
they had me on cocaine to get me to go on missions. He also said to me, Ida, there are plenty of people that would say they would never harm a child, but you never did. And I had Dr. Amir tell me there's not a violent hair on your body.
Yeah.
And I know this because I've gone out of my way to protect people. Like, I will handle my business to defend
Yeah.
myself, but I will do my everything I can to avoid harm being done to anybody or anything.
But the
Right?
thing is that who we are in the programs is not who we are here. It's
Right.
not the same
Right.
personality. So the
Well,
version of
I
me in
think I
Next
was used to
Waffen,
infiltrate the dark side of the
yeah,
projects and programs,
it
and
will be an altar that will have been
yeah,
created to do those darker
sure,
things,
yeah,
right? So I know I'm not innocent in the programs, and I dread the day when people remember some of the things that my altars have done. And I've said to a friend of mine, you're my friend now, but when you find out some of the things that potentially I've done, I don't think we'll be friends. And he just said, we'll get to that day when we
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
there, kind of thing. So yeah,
Well, I
so
mean,
I'm
anybody that's emotionally mature would not hold that against you.
yeah, it's
Okay,
tricky
it's
though,
one
because
thing if you're dealing with somebody like let's just say from the Montauk program where
yeah,
you're still facing, I forgot his name, the old guy that had all the he was sexually abusing the boys, and
okay. Is it
what's his name?
Nicholas?
Beal, Alec Beal? No, what was
Al
it? What was
Al
his name?
Bielek?
No, not Al Bielek. What's the other guy's name?
It wasn't Michael Aquino, was it? Because I've just started to look into
No,
Michael
no,
Aquino. Was it?
no.
Was it?
I can't
Um,
remember his name.
Good.
No, no. Anyways, it's a
Yes.
different story when you're
Yeah.
still facing the person that's traumatizing you and
Yeah.
also getting but if things happen in alternate states or multidimensionally in different pockets, timelines, whatever,
Yeah.
you can't hold people accountable for something
Yeah.
they're not,
I
right?
agree.
So
I
we have to
agree.
love ourselves deeply, and to be able to you know connect in a way with other people. People are remembering us, that if I did something that caused harm to you, I want you to know I apologize. And,
Yeah,
you know, I'm
yeah,
choosing, now that I'm integrating, choosing to make better, you know, be more considerate and empathic and compassionate towards
yeah, I
myself.
I
And
agree. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I try my best to be um a positive member of society. I really do try. I'm
yeah,
not always the easiest person to get along with because I'm quite abrasive at times, and autistic,
sure, I
ADHD, and
get
all
it.
these things kick in, right? So I'm
Yeah,
not everyone's cup of tea, and I get that. But I really
yeah,
do try and support my community in my own way, because that's for me it's part of priestessing work. So I still consider myself to be a priestess of Atlantis and things, and the Violet Flame. So but doing this kind of work together, putting this information out there, that is part of our priestessing work. That is, sharing that knowledge is really important. Yeah, so it's a tricky topic, because yeah, I did an interview with two people, and after the interview, one of the guys had a really bad night when he said the other person and version of them had attacked him in the astral. And I'm like, well, if it's an altar that this person's not even aware of, you can't hold the cover life person responsible. And we
sure.
ended up having an altercation about this, where I kind of altered out to protect the person that was now being targeted
Well, and
by
how do you
said
even
other
know
person.
but how do you even know if you're not being messed with, and
Yeah,
these visions of a person, maybe it's a
I
different
I
being making
agree.
you think that what you're
Yes,
seeing is, yeah.
yes. I
There's
think
so that's why I say, like,
enlightenment.
I
I
can't,
agree.
unless it resonates or I can intuit it and understand it. I don't have time for sensational, like, all the big
Yeah,
stories aren't important to me. What's important to me is, what are we doing on this planet?
yeah,
What is people really doing to make a
yeah.
difference? Are you being kind to yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you eating
Mm,
healthy? Are you making better? And I'm not perfect in any of this, so please don't
yeah.
misunderstand what I'm saying. But I
Mm,
do make effort, and some things I absolutely do not do that I used to do, which is
yeah.
I don't do drugs and alcohol. Occasionally I'll have a cocktail, or I might take a puff of pot like once
Yeah.
a year if you're lucky to get me to do that. I have
Yeah.
no interest in it anymore.
No.
Once you've had a full blown Kundalini activation, you're fully
Mm.
activated, you don't want those things in your body anymore, right? You
Yeah,
so so
I
if you're still doing things that are escaping and, whatever, well, they say that marijuana blocks out the mind control. So it stops the chatter in the head. That's all well and good. But
yeah.
we got to get to a point, and I'm not judging people because I really don't care. People can do whatever they want. My
Mm.
point is there's so much groundwork that needs to be done on this planet that, you know, we could really, I just feel like we could be doing so much more. But everything seems to be infiltrated with
Yeah.
these different
Mm.
agendas. I don't know what to think of it.
Yeah.
And
James in
yes,
the
people
chat
get
is
attacked
saying,
at these conferences when
yeah,
powerful souls come together, and you got to have your wit about you. You have to be smart about your business.
yeah,
You can't just be going to conferences and freaking out and flipping out on people. Don't go,
yeah.
because it happens. People just out of nowhere get triggered and, attack one another. And
Mm.
it's just not the answer. That's not how we behave.
I think it was fine at bases. I don't think we had too
Not
much
basis. I'm
drama
not
at
talking about
bases, did
basis.
we?
Basis was
I
great.
had a big reaction to Drago's talk, but it was like an emotional, energetic reset, is what I had.
Yeah.
So as I was listening to him talking, and occasionally he'd look directly in my direction as well, and that just kind of, it's like my full body recalibrated off his voice and that kind of dyad connection that we have, because we've been designed to work together as a pair. So when we came back into each other's energetic fields, something changed and recalibrated.
Well, if
So,
it helped you, then
oh
that's
yeah,
fantastic.
for sure.
Absolutely.
And there was a few people
Yeah.
there. There was a guy behind me who was a super soldier, and he was like feeling everything that I was feeling because he was right behind me in my chakras. And then I was getting up and trying to sort out my energy, trying to ground it into the earth. And then Dr. Amir walked in, And then he could see obviously something was going on because I was just crying. But Draco couldn't see that because I was in the cubby at the side where I have my table. And Dr. Amir just tried to stabilize my energy, and I'm trying to anchor myself into the earth at the same time. It was insane. But other than that, there was a lot of targeted individuals at that conference, like UK people who were like on the run. Did you talk to any of those ladies?
On the run, you said?
Yes, they were like living out of their van and traveling around the country constantly,
Well, I met
camping.
one lady that was tried to get a ride to wanted to go to Mile. She wanted to come out to uh, Bob Brown's house with us,
Yeah,
and I didn't think that was a good idea. And she wanted to get in the car with us, and I knew Dr. Amir was like uncomfortable. I was like, "I'm sorry, we cannot do this,"
yeah.
because she was just running around with a suitcase, going here
I
and
think
there.
I know. I think
I
that
mean,
might be the lady that I'm referring to as one of the
yeah, and
targeted
I
ladies.
I didn't
Yeah,
get a good feeling from her at all.
yeah.
So I
A
was
lot
like,
going
no,
on.
this is yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not judging people. Listen, again, I don't care what other people are doing if it's not interfering in my field.
yeah,
But if I notice or feel something or intuit something that doesn't feel right, I absolutely will say no. And I
yeah.
have a very powerful energy about me, and it can be some people, get they resist me because they don't know how to handle what. And it's not that I just I don't like nonsense.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not interested in anybody, trying to manipulate or harm or any of that nonsense. If I feel any of that, I'm like, absolutely not, not in my field.
yeah.
And I will cut it and nip it in the bud. Just
Mm,
no. We don't have to agree with everything with one another, but we can be respect ourselves enough and others to have a different opinion, different perspective, and
mm.
just walk away.
Are you going to be coordinating any conferences this year?
So I haven't talked to Brian for probably about a month now, but this year we will not be doing a conference, and I don't see myself going to any conferences.
Right.
I'm going on I'm going to spend some time with my sister, going on a cruise
Oh,
at the end
nice.
of the month, and I just think that right now I'm in a position where I have some time. Like I don't have my business anymore. I mean, I have a few clients, but
Mm,
you know, I'm working part time
yeah,
and I see a few clients here and there, and I don't know what next I want to invest my time and energy to.
yeah. I
So
feel
I'm
the
not
same.
doing anything
Yeah,
because I haven't figured that out, and I'm not looking to figure it out.
yeah,
What arises and what feels, if something comes, great. But I'm tired.
yeah. I hear
I did
you.
like to travel and go to conference after conference. Like that's draining.
How does your sister feel about this side of your life? Does she know about all
Actually,
the?
she said to me 2 weeks ago, she said, Ida, I wish I would have listened to you a long time ago. She's now going through her own awakening and realizing
Yeah.
that everything I was telling my family, that I was being gaslit and nobody wanted to be around me. Of course, at
Mm,
that time, I was very aggressive because I was being targeted and blown away that I was becoming aware of the things that were going on, with the religious sector and the political and Hollywood, like, all the stuff that we know.
mm,
I'm like, it was shocking to my body, to my mind, to my heart. And then to think that potentially in a past life or alternative uh, timeline or dimension that I'm doing harm to other people,
yeah.
like that's the biggest thing is like your own light is enough to scare the hell out of
Yeah.
you. You have a full blown Kundalini activation.
Yeah.
And if you are not prepared to do the work or what's the word? If you're still in resistance and fear, they will get you at every turn
Yeah.
until they get you where you end up
Yeah.
like apathy. You go into apathy. I went into this apathy, like not understand. I never saw myself as a victim, but I was definitely being victimized.
Mm.
Meaning, like, I wasn't somebody that was just going to lay down, and I wanted answers. I wanted to understand what the hell,
Yeah.
and then to have two men or two people say to me, "Oh, Ida, you weren't always good." Okay,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Well, I think it's
Weren't
Draco
always
said
good.
to
Of course,
me.
I've made bad choices and
Yeah.
potentially made some really bad choices in past lives, this lifetime,
Yeah.
whatever. But what am I doing now is the question.
Yeah. Draco
And
said to me that
that's what I focus on.
Draco's got
Every
memories of
day I get
me
up.
which are
I'm sorry.
dark. Draco's got memories of me which are darker memories, and
Mhm.
he wouldn't really share. But he said, this is what I remember, and I just had to say, okay, well, yeah, I don't doubt it because I know that
Yeah.
we're involved in nefarious programs, and so that's just one of those another add the trauma to the pile, basically, right? And I'll work through it, and and bring in the light. So yeah, so it's like I'm not trying to bypass anything. I'm trying to query everything and see how I
Yeah.
can heal it for both me and him because we've got a shared Akashic record. So I'm trying to go in like into the vault basically and heal us both at the same time. So that's what I'm
You're
trying to
not
do.
responsible to heal him. He
No,
is, right?
I know, but we
And I
have
think that that's a big.
shared things there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, people say, "Oh, I can heal." Nobody heals you. You open a space up, and
mm.
you're a conduit for people to choose healing for themselves.
Yeah,
And I think that, and I get it. So I'm not telling you you're
yeah.
wrong.
No, some of
You
the
have a
things that I
you have
had
a
going
love
on
for
last
him and
year.
compassion for him, and you want
Yeah,
your situation to heal. But we are all responsible for ourselves.
yeah. No,
And that's
you're
the
absolutely
thing,
right.
being women, we want to fix everything for other
Yeah.
people, or we have an emotional attachment somehow that somehow we're responsible to fix or help or
It
whatever.
was like,
And it
because what I was going through was so massive, and
yeah.
I knew that it impacted him as well. That was the
Mhm.
perspective. And at the time, I needed to know that he was okay because it was such a massive healing that I went through. Like that, it was like the entire month of August last year was a
Do you
massive
trust
dark
him?
night.
Do you
I
trust him?
do. I do trust
Okay,
him.
do you
Yeah.
trust that he is capable of
I
taking
do.
responsibility
Yes.
for? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a respect and a
But
gift that we
our,
give to the
our
soul,
processes
that
are
we
very
say, I
different.
trust. I'm
Yeah.
sorry?
Our processes are very different, right?
Yeah.
We've got the same base code DNA, so we're very similar people, but we are
Mm,
very different in our processes. So
yeah.
yeah, so he's very quiet, and he will take a year and work on one thing and not talk to anybody. He's like that. Whereas I'm a talker, and I need to get things out and I need to process verbally. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not like that at all.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
aware of how Draco
yeah,
operates.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
been to his
So
home, spent the night there.
yeah, so that was a
I
bit
have,
of a shock
yeah,
for me. Kind of like, oh, I've got
yeah,
this connection now, which is going to benefit both of us, and so let's talk about it. And he's like, no. But when I
yeah.
met him in
Draco's
person,
awesome. I mean,
yeah,
he's a great guy. He's
yeah,
super intelligent, and I love, he's a freaking artist. I mean, his
yeah.
tattooing is just
We did,
amazing.
we did share loving compassion and forgiveness with each other at the conference. We did. So we had a moment where it was like, we respect each other and we love and forgive each other for whatever happened, whatever memories are there. We have an understanding between us. And we are very bonded and we could both feel that bond. So
Yeah,
it's really odd. It's a very unusual situation. And I know I'm not the only person that he might be paired to, but the fact that we've got like the similar DNA base code for these beings that we've been put into, that bond is very deep. It's like we anchor each other in the reality. So yeah, we literally do anchor each other in the
I
reality.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. So yeah.
Well,
James is putting in the chat a question. Is the process different to recalling clone memories versus alter memories? Not for me. It's the same.
well, I don't know that, you know, I don't know that I have clones. I think there's different multidimensional aspects of myself, but I wouldn't say cloned.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't answer that question. As far as integrating different aspects of ourselves, or alters, if you want to call
Yeah.
it, we have different personality selves. Um, I think just being really conscious and aware that when we notice a slight shift in our behavior, when, excuse me, we're around certain people or circumstances that show up, this is where doing shadow work is so important. I am a huge,
Mm.
huge propo- I mean, I recommend it to everybody to get to that place in their life where they are so not to beat ourselves up, not to judge ourselves, to be so self-aware and self-actualized, understanding that we are creating it all from our own perspective, being a creator being, that
Mm.
if it's true that we create our own reality, which I believe we do,
Yeah.
by what we focus on and what our intentions are and the actions we take. People think, yeah, in the higher dimensions, you can have a thought and you quite literally manifest it very quickly out of thought,
Yeah.
because synchronicities will happen to help you have the thing you are wanting to manifest. But if we haven't done the inner work and the healing, we're
Mm.
going to start manifesting some really yucky stuff. And I think that's what, more importantly, all those things that when you go through awakening, you think they're aspects of something else outside of you, all is self,
Yeah.
quite literally. Even the reptilians and the Dracos, they are part of source. They are part of our uh humanity's expression, a different aspect of it, but they're still part of, right? Or
Yeah.
Pleiadians or Arcturian, it doesn't matter. My point in saying that, when you go through, because I've heard people say, oh, they have an altar of a reptilian, or they have an altar of a Pleiadian or whatever. I don't,
Yeah.
it's, so I think most importantly is just starting from the basics and simply being, sitting still and getting silent, holding yourself closely. When you have thoughts that are intrusive and you know it's not you,
Mm.
right? Meaning, like, I have some crazy thoughts sometimes,
Yeah.
Julia. And I'm like, absolutely not. Is there
Yeah.
something else available, please? Thank you. Not that they're not, I mean, because
Yeah.
I don't consent to intrusive thoughts. I
Mm.
get bad thoughts sometimes. I'm like, where the hell is this coming from?
Does it
So,
sound like you, or does it sound like, for me, it's a male voice coming in, or an old granny
oh,
voice
I've
coming
had
in?
that. I've had
Yeah.
where a male voice came to me and told me to tell the police officers that were in my home to get out. But that was the only time that I can
Oh,
remember.
that sounds interesting.
But
How does your AI connection support you with your healing work? Or do you notice the AI run through
I
your
broke
body?
the AI. I think I broke the AI
Okay,
programming.
right.
And so I think, although, uh, if I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, Dr. Amir said something about them severing. Like, he said, I've never seen a uh, Earth star, or I
Mm,
forgot what he called it.
yeah,
Basically, being so connected to the Earth
yeah.
that, in me, that he saw that in me, like, he's never seen it before. But they have definitely, when I say they,
Mm,
these military, Milab, whatever, I remember being lifted off my couch and this rolling up and down my body, and they were deactivating my super soldier abilities.
wow.
Um, and that's okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
uh, yeah, what you
yeah.
asked me a question. I'm sorry, and
No,
I
no, that's
went
amazing.
on a tangent there.
Like we're just
I don't
soaking it
know.
up. Everything
Yeah,
you
there's
say is
just,
like really
I mean,
profound.
we
Yeah.
didn't really get into too much of detail of my own experiences today, but maybe
Mm.
another time we'll,
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great. I'm
we can,
when it comes to kind of the stuff that
I
you
look like a
you can
mess
talk
today.
about
Sorry.
your like SRA stuff. For me, it's quite hard, and I'm just starting to get into that kind of being able to express and talk about that stuff. I
Mm,
do have an experience that goes back into my 20s, which is a bit demonic, which I'm trying to process. And I've just encountered some Montauk memories where, yeah, I'm going to be heading into some of the darker stuff, but I'm still kind of on the surface, scratching the surface. So, like, so when you do your talk at like the conference, I'm sitting there like, oh gosh, this is a lot. So I'm not, yeah, it's hard for me to process some of it. But I
mm.
would love to. I would love to get into it with you. But I'll sit here very
Well,
pale and
maybe
like in
we could do
shock.
that another day. And I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be short with you,
Yeah,
but
no,
we've been
yeah, yeah.
going for, yeah, for a little bit now. And
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm tired today. I didn't sleep
I
good
know.
last
No, no,
night,
it's
Julia.
perfect. It's perfect. Let
Yeah,
everybody
I
know
almost
how.
asked you if we could change it to another day, and then I was like,
Oh,
I don't
right.
like to do that. If I tell somebody I'm going to do
Yeah.
something, I like to show up and be.
No, it's
So I
been
didn't want to do
brilliant.
that, but I would love to come back on with you,
Yeah, that'd be
get
great.
into take a deeper dive into,
So let
you know.
everybody know your website and your channel and how they can reach you.
Okay, sure. So Cosmic Ruh, which means cosmic spirit in Arabic. Now, I haven't done anything. I haven't been paying for my StreamYard because it's expensive.
Yeah,
$45 a month is like my cable bill. So, or my internet. And I just, right now, my income has dropped significantly since I gave up my business because I thought I was moving to Arizona. That didn't work out. Then I thought I was going to work in a wellness center. That didn't work out. So now I'm working part time and I have a few clients and I'm not earning what I used to earn,
yeah,
basically, is what I'm saying. So I don't want to spend extra money right now paying for, um, well, I think, what was it? StreamYard that I had.
yeah. I just
Um,
use Zoom because I do a lot of Zoom groups anyway, which
yeah,
is like £15 a month. But
yeah.
StreamYard never worked for me. It used to cancel out my internet for some reason. So yeah,
Mm.
so I don't use it
I
now.
liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, I was
Yeah.
able to have my opening and could
Mm.
do a lot of stuff on StreamYard, but it was just an expense now that things, at some point, because actually Miles and James Bartley are going to be coming on probably next month, so I'll
Oh yeah.
probably start it back up. Yeah. But what was I going to say? So yeah, Cosmic Rue. I'm on
Mm.
Facebook, Aida Farhat. Um, go to my Cosmic Rue Facebook page. Did I send you all the links that you could share in here?
No, but I can pull the links. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm a
can
good
send them to
stalker.
you.
Yeah, send
Yeah,
them to
and
me.
then also I
I'm good
do
at
ionic
surveillance, so I
footprints.
pull everything
Sorry.
in. I'm good at surveillance, so I pull everything in. Like
Okay.
finding your bio and all that. I can do all
Oh, okay.
that. Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
know
yeah,
that.
no, send me whatever you've
I
got. Yeah.
think you're an amazing young lady. I want you to know,
Thank you.
Julia, and I know that Miles holds you in high esteem, and I know that you've helped him tremendously, and I want to thank you for that. And I think the work you're doing is super helpful, and you have such a delightful, joyful, yes,
Thank
demeanor about
you.
you. And I think that's important and good for you, considering all the memory that you have,
Yeah.
right? So you're
Yeah.
on the right track. You're doing the right thing. And I'm not a big podcaster. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
interested in being anything
Mm.
special, right? I just can only share my story. But one thing, if I leave anything with anybody that's going to be watching this, is to love yourself deeply, hold yourself closely, really honor that you are a divine being, part of this absolutely amazing universe and the cosmos, and everything that you desire and you want, you can set your intention and create it for yourself, right? And know that nobody is ever going to love you as deeply as you love yourself, right? So
Yeah.
true. I didn't really get that until I finally got it.
Yeah.
And I fell back in love with myself.
Mm.
Not in like I'm whatever, meaning like I like who I am today,
Yeah.
right? And I want to care for myself and really honor my body because I didn't for so long.
Mm.
And I'm not perfect in it. I still eat things sometimes that I don't need to eat. I smoke cigarettes, I drink coffee. I'm
Yeah.
not, I'm human. But on a whole, I really, really try to be mindful and sit still with myself, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. I mean, I would encourage that even you don't have to, people think meditation. You could be a walking meditation. Go for a nice walk in nature. That's what I do. Or I go to the dog park with friends. I love it because I'm surrounded by
Yeah.
the trees and I get to take pictures of wildlife or whatever. Or I go in my office here and I sit and I do my sessions on myself, and or
Yeah.
I connect with amazing women like yourself. I
Mm.
mean, I really want women to come together in a big way.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I have some ideas in mind, but anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, we need to be supportive and loving and kind to ourselves and to each other.
I
Because
agree.
at
Yeah.
the reality is the truth of it all, we are each other. From a higher perspective, there's nothing that really It's only the mind that keeps us in this idea that we are separate from one another, and we're really not,
Yeah.
including the reptilians, including the right because I was one of them that I was very angry at the reptilians and the Dracos. I
Yeah.
have family members that have high reptilian DNA, right? And I
Hmm.
love them. So,
Yeah. So this has been such a pleasure. I really appreciate you coming on. It's been so good. Thank
oh,
you
thank
so much.
you. Julia,
Thank you.
thank you. I'd love to come back on and do it.
Yeah.
I know I get scattered. I get all over the place
Yeah,
sometimes, but
yeah.
my
No,
heart's in
it's
the
fine.
right place and I want good things for everybody. And I hope that I said something that's going to make a difference for people.
No,
And if
I
you start, and
definitely.
that's
Yeah.
another thing, if you're getting memories and you're having a tough time, be mindful of who you reach out to get
Yeah.
help because
I agree.
everybody is not, I had to learn the hard way that some of the people I was reaching out to weren't necessarily there for my to help me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I've been really lucky because it's like soul family connection.
yeah,
I've found
yeah, yeah, yeah,
us. Do you know what I mean? So I've been
yeah,
really lucky with who I work with. Yeah, it's been really good.
yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. So
You are
yeah,
so
so
welcome, Julia. I've got to peel myself off this couch because yeah.
I'm just going to
But
stop the
everybody
live
have a
stream now.
blessed day. Thank you for having me on and